Ecclesiastes chapter 1. The word of the David's son, Querlas, king in Jerusalem. Vanity in vanity, says Querlas. Vanity of the vanities, all things are vanities. Vanity of the human toil. What profit had we from all the toil which we toil under the sun? One generation departs and another generation comes, but the world forever stays. The sun rises and the sun sets, then it passes on the place where it rises. Shifting south the north, the back and forth shifted the wind, constantly shifting its course. All rivers flow to the sea, yet never does the sea become full. To the place where they flow, the rivers continue to flow. All things are wearisome, too wearisome for words. The eye is not satisfied by seeing, nor has the ear enough for hearing. What has been, that will be. What has been done, that will be done. Nothing is new under the sun. Even the thing of the which say, see, this is new, has already existed in the ages that precede us. There is no remembrance of the past generation, nor will a future generation be remembered by those who come after them. To follow the introduction, Whereas I was king over Israel in Jerusalem, and I applied my mind to search and investigate in wisdom all things that are done under the sun. A bad business God has given to human beings to be busied with. I have seen all things that are done under the sun, and behold, all is a vanity, a chase after wind. What is crooked cannot be made straight, and you cannot count what is not there. Though I said to myself, I will greatly increase my wisdom beyond all who were before me in Jerusalem, and my mind has a broad experience of the wisdom and knowledge. Yet, when I apply my mind to know wisdom and knowledge, madness and folly, I learn that this also is a chase after wind. For in much wisdom there is much sorrow. Whoever increases knowledge increases griefs. Ecclesiastes chapter 2. Study of the pleasure seeking. I said in my heart, come now, let me try you with pleasure and the enjoyment of the good things. See, this too was a vanity. Of laughter I said, mad and of mirth, what good does this do? Guided by wisdom, I proved with my mind how to beguile my sense with wine and take up folly, until I should understand what is good for human beings to the under the heavens, during the limited days of their lives. I undertook great works. I built myself houses and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks, and in them set out fruit trees of the old sort. And I constructed for myself reservoirs to water a flourishing woodland. I acquired male and female slaves and had slaves who were born in my house. I also owned the vast whole of the cattle and the flock of the sheep, more than all who had been before me in Jerusalem. I amassed for myself silver and gold and the treasure of the king and the province. I provided for myself male and female singles and the delight of the man, many women. I accumulated much more than all others before me in Jerusalem. My wisdom too stayed with me. Nothing that my eyes desired did I deny them, nor did I deprive myself of any joy. Rather, my heart rejoiced in the fruit of all my toil. This was my share for all my toil. But when I turned to all the work of my hands had wrought, and the fruit of the toil for which I have toiled so much, see, all was a vanity and the chase after wind. There is no profit under the sun. What about one who succeeds a king? He cannot do only what has already been done. Study of wisdom and folly. I went on to the consideration of the wisdom, madness and folly, and I saw that wisdom has as much profit over folly as right has over darkness. Wise people have eyes in their heads, but fools walk in darkness. Yet I knew that same lot before both. So I said in my heart, if the fool's lot is to befall me also, why should I be wise? Where is the profit? And in my heart I decided that this too is vanity. The wise person will have no more abiding remembrance than the fools, for in days to come both will have been forgotten. How is it that the wise person dies like the fool? Therefore I detest the life, since for me the work that is done under the sun is bad. For all is a vanity and the chase after wind. To others the profit. And I detested all the fruit of my toil under the sun, because I must leave them to the one who is to come after me. And who knows whether that one will be wise or a fool? Yet that one will take control of the all fruit of my toil and wisdom under the sun. This also is a vanity. So my heart turned to the despair over all the fruit of my toil under the sun. For here is one who has toiled with wisdom and knowledge and skill, and that one's legacy must be left to the another who has not toiled for it. This also is a vanity and a great evil. For what profit comes to mortals from all the toil and the anxiety of the heart with which they toil under the sun? Every day sorrow and grief are their occupation. Even at night their hearts are not at rest. This also is a vanity. There is nothing better for mortals than to eat and drink and provide themselves with good things from their toil. Even this I saw is from the hand of the God. For who can eat and drink apart from God? For to the one who pleases God, he gives wisdom and knowledge and joy. But to the one who displays, God gives the task of the gathering possession for the one who pleases God. This also is a vanity and the chase after wind. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. No one can determine the right time to act. There is an appointed time for everything, and time for every affair under the heavens. A time to give birth, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot the plant. A time to kill, a time to heal, a time to tear down, and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance. A time to scatter stone and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to be far from embraces. A time to seek, a time to lose, a time to keep, a time to cast away, a time to run, a time to sow, a time to be silent, a time to speak, a time to love, a time to hate, a time to war, a time of peace. What profit have workers from their toils? I have seen the business that God has given the mortals to be busy about. God has made everything appropriate to each time, but has put the timeless into their heart so they cannot find out. From beginning to end, the work which God has done, I recognize that there is nothing better than to rejoice and to do well during life. Moreover, that all can eat and drink and enjoy the good of their toil. This is a gift of God. I recognize that whatever God does will endure forever. There is no adding to it or taking from it. Thus has God done that he may be revealed. What now is has already been, what is to be already is. God retrieves what has gone by. The problem of the retribution. And still under the sun in the judgment praise, I saw wickedness and the wickedness also in the seat of justice. I said in my heart, both the just and the wicked God will judge, since the time is set for every affair and for every work. I said in my heart, as for human beings, it is God's way of the testing them and of showing that they are in themselves like beasts. For the lot of the mortals and the lot of the beast is the same lot. The one dies as well as the others. Both have the same life breath. Human beings have no other advantage over beast, but all is a vanity. Both go to same place, both were made from the dust, and to the dust they both return. Who knows if the life breath of the mortals goes upward and the life breath of the beast goes earthwards? And I saw that there is nothing better for mortals than to rejoice in their work, for this is their lot, who will let them see what is to come after them. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, Vanity of Toil. Again I saw all the oppression that take place under the sun, the tear of the victim with none to comfort them. From the hand of the oppressor comes violence, and there is none to comfort them. And those not dead, I declare more fortunate in death than are living to be still alive. And the better of them both is at the unborn, who has not seen the wicked work that is done under the sun. Then I saw that all toil and skillful work is the rival of the one person with another. This also vanity or chase out the wind. Fools fold their arms and consume their own flesh. Better is one handful with tranquility than to with toil and chase out the wind. Companion and successors. Again I saw this vanity under the sun, those all alone with no companion, with neither child nor sibling, with no end to all their toil and no satisfaction from riches. From whom do I toil and deprive myself of the good things? This also is vanity and the bad business. Two are better than one, they get a good wage for their toilers. If the one falls, the other will help the fallen one, but what to solitary person? If that one should fall, there is no other to help. So also, if two sleep together, they keep each other warm. How can one alone keep warm? Where one alone may be overcome, two together can resist. A three-ply cord is not easily broken. Better is poor but wise youth than an old but foolish king who no longer knows caution. For from a prison house he came forth to the rain. Despite his kinship, he was born poor. I saw all the living those who move about under the sun with the second news who will succeed him. There is no end to all people, to all who walk before them, yet the later generation will not have joy in him. This also is a vanity and chase out the wind. Vanity of the many words. Guard your step when you go to the house of the God. Draw near for obedience, rather than for fools offering to the sacrifice, for they know not how to keep from doing evil. Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Be not hasty in your utterance, and let not your heart be quick to utter promise in God's presence. God is in heaven, and you are on earth, therefore let your words be a few. As dreams come along with many carols, so a full voice along with the multitude of words. When you make a vow to God, delay not its fulfillment, for God has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill what you have vowed. It is better not to make a vow than make it and not fulfill it. Let not your utterance make you guilty, and say not before his representatives. It was a mistake. Why should God be engrossed by your words and destroy the work of your hands? Despite many dreams of futilities and a multitude of words, fear God. Gain and loss of goods. If you use the oppression of the poor and the violence of the right and justice in the realms, do not be astonished by the fact, for the high official has another higher than he watching him, and above these are others higher still. But profitable for land in such circumstance is a king concerned about the cultivation. The cultivators are never satisfied with money, nor are lover of the wealth with their gains, so this too is a vanity. Where there are great riches, there are also many to devour them. of what use are they to the owner except as a feast for the eyes alone? Sleep is sweet to the revelers, whether there is a little or much to eat, but the abundance of the rich allows them to no sleep. This is a grievous evil which I have seen under the sun, riches hoarded by their owners to their own hurts. Should the riches be lost through some misfortune, they may have offspring when they have no means. As they came forth from their mother's womb, so again shall they return, naked as they came, having nothing from their toil to bring with them. This too is a grievous evil, that they go just as they came. What then does it profit them to toil for the winds? All the days they eat in gloom with great vexation, sickness, and resentment. Here is what I see as good, is appropriate to eat and drink and prosper from all the toil one toils under the sun during the limited days of life God give us. For this is our lot. Those to whom God gives riches and property and grant power to the partake of them, so that they receive their lot and find joy in the fruit of their toil. This is a gift from God. For they will hardly dwell on the shortness of life, because God lets them busy themselves with joy of their hearts. Ecclesiastes chapter 6, limited words of the enjoyment. There is another evil I have seen under the sun, and it weighs heavily upon humankind. There is one to whom God gives rich and property and honor, and who lacks nothing to heart could desire. Yet God does not grant the power to the partake of them. But the stranger devours them. This is a vanity and a dire brag. Should one have 100 children and live many years, no matter to what great age, still if one has not the full benefit of those goods, I proclaim that child born dead, even if left unburied, is more fortunate. Though it came in vain and goes into darkness, its name is enveloped in darkness. Though it has not seen the sun or known anything, yet the dead child has more peace. Should such a one live twice 1,000 years and not enjoy those good, do not both go to shame praise. All human toil is for the mouth, yet the appetite is never satisfied. What profit have the wise compared to fools, or what profit have the lowly in knowing how to conduct themselves in life? What the eyes see is better than what the desire wonder after. This also is a vanity and the chase after the wind. Whatever is was long ago given its names, and human nature is known. Morals cannot contend in judgment with one who is stronger. For the more words, the more vanity. What profit is there for anyone? For who knows what is good for morals in life? The limited day of the vain life spent like a shadow, because who can tell them what will come afterwards under the sun? Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Critic of the sages on the day of the adversity. A good name is better than good ointment, and the day less than the day of the birth. It is better to go to the house of the mourning than to the house of the feasting. For that is the end of every morals, and the living should take it to heart. Sorrow is better than a laughter. When the face is sad, the heart grows wise. The heart of the wise is the house of the mourning, but the heart of the fools in the house of the merriment. It is better to listen to the rebuke of the wise than to listen to the song of fools. For as the cracking of thorns under a pot, so is the fool's laughter. This also is a vanity. Extortion can make a fool out of the wise, and the bribe corrupt the heart. Better is the end of the thing than its beginning. Better is a patient spirit than a lofty one. Do not let anger upset your spirit, for anger lodges in the bosom of the fools. Do not say, how is that the former times were better than these? For it is not out of the wisdom that you ask about this. Wisdom is as good as the inheritance and profitable to those who see the sun. For the protection of the wisdom is as the protection of the money, and the knowledge is the profitable, because wisdom gives life to those who possess it. Consider the work of God, who can make straight the what God has made crooked. On the good day enjoy good things, and on the evil days consider both the one and the other God has made, so that no one may find the least fault with him. Critic of the sages on justice and wickedness. I have seen all manner of the things in my vain days, the just perishing in their justice, and the wicked living alone in their wickedness. Be not just to excess, and be not overwise. Why work you on ruin? Be not wicked to excess, and be not foolish. Why should you die before your time? It is good to hold to this rule and not to let that one go, but the one who fears God will succeed with both. Wisdom is better defense for the wise than the 10 princes in the city. Yet there is no one on earth so just as to do good and never sin. Do not give your heart to every word that is spoken. You may hear yourself on cursing you. For your heart knows that you have many times cursed others. All these things I proved in wisdom. I said, I will acquire wisdom, but it was far beyond me. What exists is far-reaching. It is deep and very deep. Who can find it out? I turned my heart toward knowledge. I sought and pursued wisdom and its design. And I recognized that weakness is foolishness and folly is madness. Critic of advice on woman. More bitter than death I found the woman who is a hunter's trap, whose heart is a snare, whose hand a prison bond. The one who prays God will be delivered from her, but the one who displays will be entrapped by her. See, this have I found, says Querlas, adding one to find the sun. What my soul still seeks and has yet to find is this: one man out of the 1,000 have I found, but a woman among them all I have not found. But this alone I have found: God made humankind honest, but they have pursued many designs. And those who are wicked but are treated as though they had done justly, this too I say is a vanity. Therefore I praise joy, because there is nothing better for mortals under the sun than to eat and to drink and to be joyful. This will accompany them in their toil through the limited days of the life God gives them under the sun. I applied my heart to know wisdom and to see the business that is done on earth, though neither by day nor by night do one's eyes sleep. And I saw all the work of the God. No mortal can find out the work that is done under the sun, however much mortals may toil in the searching. No one finds it out, and even if the wise claim to know, they are unable to find it out. Ecclesiastes chapter 9. All this I have kept in my heart, and all this I examined. The just, the wise, their deeds are in the hand of the God. Love from hatred mortals cannot tell, both are before them. Everything is the same for everybody, the same wrath for the just and the wicked, for the good, for the clean and the unclean, for the one who offers sacrifice and the one who does not. As it is for the good, so it is for the sinner. As it is for the one who takes on oath, so it is for the one who fears on oath. Among all things that are done under the sun, this is the worst. There is one lot for all. Hence, the heart of the human being are filled with the evil, and madness is in their heart during life, and afterwards to the death. For whoever is chosen among all the living has hope. A live dog is better off than a dead lion. For the living know that they are to die, but the dead no longer know anything. There is no further recompense for them, because all memory of them is lost. For them love and hatred and rivalry have long since perished. Never again will they have a part in anything that is done under the sun. Go eat your bread with joy and drink your wine with a merry heart, because it is now that God favors your works. At all times let your garment be white, and spare not the perfume for your head. Enjoy life with the wife you love all the day of the vain life granted you under the sun. This is your lot in life, for the toil of your labors under the sun. Anything you can turn your hand to do with what power you have. For there will be no work, no planning, no knowledge, no wisdom in Sheol where you are going. The time of the misfortune is not known. Again I saw under the sun that the race is not won by the swift, nor the battle by the valiant, nor a livelihood by the wise, nor riches by the shrewd, nor favor by the expert, for time of the misfortune comes to all alike. Human beings no more know their own time than fish taken in the fatal net and the birds trapped in the snare. Like these, mortals are caught when an evil time suddenly falls upon them. The uncertain future and the sages. On the other hand, I saw the wise deed under the sun, which I thought magnificent. Against a small city with a few inhabitants advanced a mighty king, who surrounded and threw up great siege works about it. But in the city lived a man who, though poor, was wise, and he delivered it through his wisdom. Yet no one remembered this poor man. Though I had said wisdom is better than force, yet the wisdom of the poor man is despised, and his words go unheeded. The kind words of the wise are better heeded than the shout of the ruler of the fools. Wisdom is better than weapon of the world, but one bungler destroys much good. Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Death flies corrupt and spoil the perfume oil. More weighty than wisdom or wealth is a lifted folly. The wise heart turns to the right, the foolish heart to the left. Even when walking in the street, the fool, lacking understanding, calls everyone a fool. Should the anger of the ruler burst upon you, do not yield, you obey the great offense. I have seen under the sun another evil, like a mistake that proceeds from a tyrant. A fool put in high position, while the great and the rich sit in the lowly places. I have seen slaves on the horseback, while princes went on foot like slaves. Whoever digs a pit may fall into it, and whoever breaks through a wall, a snake may bite. Whoever quarries stone may be hurt by them, and whoever chops wood is in danger from it. If an axe becomes dull, the blade is not sharpened, then effort must be increased, but the advantage of the wisdom is success. If the snake bites before it is charmed, then there is no advantage in charmers. Words from the mouth of the wise win favor, but the lips of the fool consume them. The beginning of their words is folly, and the end of their talk is utter madness. Yet fools multiply words, no one knows what is to come, for who can tell anyone what will be? The toil of the fools wearies them, so they do not know even the way to town. No one knows what evil will come. What to you, O land whose king is yours, and whose prince's face is in the morning? Happy are you, O land, whose king is of noble birth, and whose princes dine at the right time, for vigor and not in drinking bouts. Because of laziness the laughter sag, when hands are slack the house reeks. A feast is made for merriment, and wine gives joy to the living, but money answers for everything. Even in your thought do not curse the king, nor in the privacy of the bedroom curse the rich. For the bird of the air may carry your voice, or winged creature may tell what you say. Ecclesiastes chapter 11. Send forth your bread upon the face of the world, so after a long time you may find it again. Make 7 or even 8 portion. You know not what misfortune may come upon the earth. No one knows what good will come. When the clouds are full, there pour out rain upon the earth, whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, wherever it falls, there shall it lie. One who pays heed to the wind will never sow, and the one who watches the clouds will never live. Just as you do not know how the life breath entered the human frame in the mother womb, so you do not know the work of God, who is working in everything. In the morning sow you seed, and at evening do not let your hand be idle, for you do not know which of the two will be successful, or whether both alike will turn out well. Poem of youth on old age. Light is sweet and is pleasant for the eyes to see sun. However many years mortals may live, let them as they enjoy them all. Remember that the days of the darkness will be many. All that is to come is vanity. Rejoice, O youth, while you are young, and let your heart be glad in the day of your youth. Follow the ways of your heart, the vision of your eyes. Yet understand that regarding all this, that God will bring you to judgment. Banish misery from your heart and remove pain from your body, for youth and black hair are fleeting. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Remember your Creator in the day of your youth, before the evil days come, and the years approach of the which you will say, I have no pleasure in them. Before the sun is darkened, and the light and the moon and the stars and the cloud are written after the rain. When the guardian for the house tremble and the strong men are bent, when the women who grind are idle because they are few, and those who look through the windows grow blind. When the doors to the street are shut and the sound of the mill is low, when one rises at the call of the bird and all the doors of the song are quiet. When one is afraid of the height and the perils in the street, when the almond tree blooms and the locust grows sluggish, and the April bread is without effect, because the mortals go to their resting home and the mourners go about the street. Before the silver cord is snapped and the golden bowl is broken, and the pitcher is shattered at the spring, and the pulley is broken at the well. And the dust returned to the earth as it once was, and the ripe bread returned to God who gave it. Vanity of the vanity, says Ecclesiastes, all things are vanities. Epilogue. Besides being wise, Ecclesiastes taught the people knowledge and weighed, scrutinized, and arranged many proverbs. Ecclesiastes sought to define the appropriate saying and to write down true saying with precision. The saying of the wise are like goes, like the fixed spike are the correct saying given by the one shepherd. As to more than this, my son, beware of the making of the many books, there is no end, and in much study there is a weariness for the flesh. The rest of the world, when all is heard, fear God and keep his commandment, for this concerns all humankind. Because God will bring to judgment every work with all its hidden qualities, whether good or bad.